All right, in this video, I have a pair of Nike off-white sneakers right here that I was actually kind of excited to see in person. Was not sure how I felt about these from images, and so in hand, it always is helpful. This is Nike Air Force 1 Mid SP, as it says on the box, and then it says off-white CO Nike on it. The box is crazy. Check out how vibrant and green the off-white logo is up top. Then you have the sneakers right here. And then on the sides, it does say this end up on the green box. You also do get the off-white paper in blue. And this is a look at the crazy pairs of sneakers that released on Nike's website. I actually got a pair from Nike's website directly on Nike sneakers, and I was actually surprised that I hit on a pair. Happy that I hit on a pair because, again, I just really wanted to see what they look like in person. They looked very bizarre from images. From the very first images, I think a lot of us kind of could tell that it was out of the box sort of thinking, which Virgil did quite a bit with his off-white collaborations. However, this is like next level, like off the wall, which I think that people are going to love and hate at the same time. I think that majority of people, I would say that this is probably a shoe that like 90% of people hate, 10% might really, really like, just because of the legacy from what Virgil created and off-white branding with the Nike sneakers. I personally, as of right now, I'm pretty much on the fence on if I can look at this shoe and go, yeah, I get it. It's like it's an artistic representation of something done in like the best way possible. I don't think I could say that. However, I do think that there is some innovation behind a pair of sneakers, and you know, for the get-go, this is not a model that is going to be a fan favorite from the beginning. So there's already the people coming into this going, well, dude, what is he going to do with it? It's an Air Force 1 mid. Like, it's not a low, it's not a high top. Virgil already put his twist to the Air Force 1 lows, and he marked it. There's just very simple, subtle differences between his version of the Air Force 1 versus what like a white-on-white pair would necessarily look like. But then we have these, the off-white Air Force 1 mids, and I think there's a lot of details about the shoe that's probably going to be a miss to the majority of the people out there. Now, this is the white colorway. They had a black one as well. You could see there are some details that definitely stand out, color-wise at least. Around the toe guard of the shoe, you have these crazy spikes, but it's also done in pink and purple accents here, and then also on the inner block. Then you have the very vibrant orange hang tag, and then the vibrant stitched on tag right here, which we're used to seeing on some of the other models. Also, the air unit is in orange right here. And then finally, we have the blue and green lace lock right here. And that's primarily most of the pop of this shoe. And then you have kind of a white, almost lace-like upper, and then a clear Nike swoosh on each side of the shoe, which I personally like. It's probably my favorite detail. So for the strap of the shoe, it's done in kind of this synthetic grid-like material. I don't even know what to call it, but it's an interesting looking element to the shoe. It adds some, I guess, geometry to the shoe, but it's just not really something that kind of flows together with the rest of the shoe, in my opinion. And then you have that lace-like tongue, and then it says Air embossed, which is done in a really funky, like 1990s sort of style font. You do have white laces on the underlay, and then an overlay of the gray laces, and then also the strap once again. On the side of the shoe, it says Off-White for Nike, Air Force 1, Beaverton, Oregon, C 1982, which is the year that the Air Force 1 originally came out. The midsole is where everything gets a little bit funky, and things change quite a bit because it's not a traditional Air Force 1 midsole. They actually have a visible air unit on this Air Force 1, which actually I think is pretty crazy because the Air Force 1 has Nike Air in it, but you never got to see it with a visible air unit, at least that I remember. So that's kind of cool that they actually exposed the air unit in the Air Force 1. Very fitting, but from the front to the back, it's actually smooth and normal, and then it gets bumpy and then distorted as you get to the back of the shoe. It also gets a lot thicker and protrudes out the back section a bit more, and it's quite heavy as well. And speaking of heavy, you have that big block on the side right here, which is just gnarly. Like, it's just a thick, like, rubber eraser just stuck in the side of the shoe, and you can see it kind of goes all the way around the bottom here. But while you're on the outsole, you can see some craziness down here as well. So they went with the traditional sort of radial patterns on the Air Force 1, but then it's kind of wobbly and just rugged and all out of shape on the bottom of the traction. And then as you get to the forefoot of the shoe here, and then also the side, you could see those crazy rubber nibs that are sticking out and spiky all over the bottom, but also sticking out sides of the shoe. And I'll tell you, it makes for a weird shoe because it's like a koosh ball on the bottom of your foot, you can't like just let it sit. It's like it's literally moving when you touch it because it's not flush on the ground. So I thought that was really interesting. It's basically not a flush pair of sneakers that you can just have on the ground. It's kind of like all over the place. So I feel like that's probably some sort of a safety issue. The fact that you don't have like, I don't know, a good steady grip when you're walking around in these. However, if you're going to be walking around, you're going to be probably just walking around for fun. It's not going to be something that you're going to be wearing to like Disneyland or something like that. Hopefully not, because your feet would probably be killing you if you wore something like this. But anyway, let's go ahead and get some words on what Nike says about the product. So this is a Nike Air Force One Mid Off-White, and this is the white colorway, $185. It said, Virgil Abloh's legacy continues with the Air Force One Mid. Celebrating 40 years of the Air Force One, he reimagined the legendary silhouette through the futurist lens. Lightweight, airy mesh with a wood grain pattern brings a utilitarian edge, while the spiked outsole connects directly to the ISPA philosophy: improvise, scavenge, protect, and adapt. And as always, Virgil left room for others to be creative. The design pairs traditional laces with a secondary set that loops through the Flywire cables. The result, a modernized and experimental reflection on history's most revered shoe. So on StockX, the black pair is going for around $220 on the open market for a size like 12, and then the white pair is like 190-ish or so. So just shy over retail, which means after fees and shipping, you're losing money if you bought these to flip. And that's just kind of one of those things that's happening right now across the board. The market is obviously just shook right now. So resale for sneakers and collectibles and across the board, everything is just down. So not a surprise there that you're not going to make a lot of money from this. This is one of those pairs that you might hold and then maybe it goes up. But to be 100% honest, I don't think this is a shoe that's going to go back up because it's such a weird vision of a product. Now, they mentioned ISPA when they were talking about this shoe on the Nike description, which I thought was interesting. ISPA is kind of like Nike's now alpha project sort of thing, where it's like, you know, just futuristic, innovative sort of stuff. There's a fine line between artistic and innovative. And like artistic, you can, I mean, obviously create something and then anybody can kind of have an interpretation of what you created. But if it's like innovative, like there's a forward path of some sort, functionality of X, Y, or Z reason for footwear. Like this isn't a functional shoe with the spikes on it. This is just something that they created with like 4 or 5 other of Virgil's sneakers from the years past, that all of those ones that had those little nibs on them didn't do very well either. The waffle racers and the vapors and so on. So they're just bringing that to one of the more like popular models, except for it's not, because it's the mid-top version, which again, not very many people like. Now, I personally like the mid-top Air Force Ones. It's not a fan favorite, but I actually really like the way the straps are lined up because you can wear them loose, and like the high top one, it's just kind of more floppy if you wear it loose. So you can wear these casually, and I think they look good. Low top one is probably the fan favorite, obviously, from what he's already created. So did he do a good job on these or not? I mean, this is art, literal art in a footwear package. So you guys can be the judge of whether or not it's something you guys like or not. In fact, leave a comment in the comment section. Leave some thoughts on what you like or dislike about what he created. I think that like art is subjective. So again, people are going to like or dislike the product. However, this is also not mainstream because it is so like off the wall art that it's not going to have the desirability of like, say, his last Air Force One collaborations, because those ones looked very basic, but they also had like his little touch to the shoe. This is just wilding out on a pair of sneakers and done in a really weird way with lots of weird materials on the upper and everything. But obviously we could tell from the resale now, and just even though he passed away, which rest in peace of Virgil, it's just not going to be a popular product because of what was created. I mean, ultimately that speaks louder than anything. Is like, is it something people are going to wear and like wearing? And you look at the shoe and you go, the upper is supposed to be kind of reminiscent of trees, but it looks like lace, and like white lacy stuff doesn't necessarily like make me super excited to wear personally, but like other people are going to love that. But they also went like kind of off the wall with this as well, with the weird like branding on the tongue of Air. It's not synonymous with anything else he's created. And also, this is the first pair that I can remember of him doing a non-raw edge across the collar of the tongue. Normally it's exposed foam. This one is buttoned down. So it's like, it's just a weird delivery. It doesn't really seem like it represents what he has created, but it does have some similarities. Obviously the Nike Air floating off the shoe, stitched down in 2 locations, and then the little orange patch there. Dig that. I mean, obviously it looks really cool with the clear, at least in my opinion. I think it looks really nice, but the strap color is a little bit weird. The upper material is really weird. Underneath the laces, you do have an interesting lace system. You don't have the traditional holes. It kind of like folds over and is like a felt type material up through. And then also the very tip of the ankle is kind of a felt material around there as well. It's an odd choice of material, and again, it doesn't really have like a lot of harmony between that, the checkerboard stuff here, and then like the lace upper. I do like the pull tab on the back though. I think that's a nice utilitarian sort of thing. And the midsole creativity, I mean, I think that if they just would have had the air unit there, like this would have been a really cool midsole. Maybe put the words air on it to make it synonymous with everything else that he's created. But ultimately, I feel like this was a straight up miss. Like, now that I've had them in hand, I've tried them on feet. They're really heavy. They're awkward. They're not the best work, unfortunately, which is just the way it goes. Like, I'm being honest, and I feel bad like saying it, but at the end of the day, it's not an artistic shoe that has like the positive sides of an art like sneaker, I guess. I don't know. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Air Force One mids by Virgil and Off-White. I think that somebody out there, this is going to be the perfect shoe for them, and hopefully this is a shoe that drops so far in price that people are going to be like, dude, I got those shoes at the outlet for like 40 bucks. Like, they would be really stoked about that. And it's just kind of like a really crazy piece for somebody to find like a really nice bargain, but like full retail or resale value wise, I mean, I don't think that that's going to ever happen for this product right here. If you guys do want to buy a pair, I'll link them in the description regardless, but appreciate y'all for stopping by and watching. If you guys did like the honest video, drop a like on the video and subscribe, and check back on my channel. I post content pretty much 5-6 days a week. So hopefully we'll see you back. All right, peace guys.